Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diego Knows. I am Diego, and today we're going to talk about Sex and the City, the original series, the one from the late 90s, early 2000s, back when the show was good. I am Diego. I have watched every single episode of Sex and the City, and it's my job here to tell you a straight man's point of view. Okay, the biggest problem I had with Sex and the City was they never represented straight guys the right way. The show was written by lesbians, feminists, and gay guys. Okay, so the straight man got the short end of the stick almost every single time, and that was a big thing that I noticed when I watched the original show back in the day, was that I did not like the way that the straight guys were being represented. All right, so that really bothered me. So whenever I would talk about these episodes, first of all, I was the only straight guy that the girls that I worked with knew that even watched this show, okay, on a regular basis. So whenever I would talk to them about the show, I would be like, no, that's bullshit. No guy would ever do that, because they honestly thought that guys really did this shit, and they don't. So I felt it was like my responsibility to set the record straight here, literally set the record straight. Okay, the show is about heterosexual couples. All right, it's about these four women that are out and about having sex with every guy. Well, not every guy, but mostly every guy they see in a big city in New York. So, it just shows like what these situations are like, and how the girls react to it and what the guys are like. The only problem I really had with the show was how the guys were being represented. Okay, they were not being represented realistically at all, and I had to raise the bullshit flag on that. So that's what I do here. As I talk about it, I talk about the stuff that I liked, the stuff that was very relatable, the things that I thought were funny, that were well written, well acted, and then I call out the bullshit too. Okay, so that's what I do here. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a straight man's point of view, uncensored, no filter here. Okay, so if you're easily triggered, get the fuck out. Okay, I don't want to talk to you anyway. All right, I'm not trying to offend anyone or hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just telling you how I see it. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you the shit that the chick flicks don't tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the stuff that your boyfriend ain't gonna tell you. Okay, the stuff that your husband's not gonna tell you. Okay, and guys, if you're watching this, you know goddamn well I'm telling you the truth. All right, I'm gonna reveal your secrets. Okay, you know why? Because we need it. Okay, I'm trying to get I'm trying to get the sexes back together, not apart, like society's doing right now. Okay, that piece of crap and just like that aired. Okay, horrible show, absolute horrible. Okay, so I want to talk about the show that was good. Okay, and Sex and the City was a great show. I love the show. Everything I say is coming from a place of love. I was a legit fan of the show. I've seen every episode and watched both movies. All right, but a lot of times they got it wrong, and I'm here to set the record straight. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. Okay, so this episode is season 2, episode 5. It's called Four Women and a Funeral. Okay, kind of a take on that chick flick, Four Weddings and a Funeral. Okay, yeah. Remember that movie? Whew, God. Okay, those of you that are young, of course you don't remember that movie. Okay, I remember that movie. Holy shit, man! How fucked up was that, dude? Hugh Grant. Like that movie like made Hugh Grant. Like Hugh Grant was like the number one fucking chick flick actor for like the next 8 years until he got busted with that prostitute. Yeah, I got getting a blowjob from that $30 hooker. Remember that? Yeah, okay. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about this episode. Okay, Four Women and a Funeral. So Carrie she's getting ready to go to a funeral. Some fashion designer that we've never met before or seen before died. His name was Javier, and he was I guess he loved fashion, but he loved heroin more, so he overdosed. Sucks to be him. Okay, so Samantha shows up to Carrie's apartment to meet her and then go to the funeral. Samantha's not wearing black like Carrie is. She's actually wearing a designer dress designed by Javier. She's wearing his clothes. She said the price went up after he died. Like the price on all of his designs went up, so she bought it. And then Charlotte shows up. Charlotte was actually the one that got invited. Charlotte shows up, okay, and all three of them go to the funeral. Okay, they're there, and the whole funeral is like a fucking like a Gucci ad. All right, everyone at the funeral is wearing designer Javier clothes. Okay, looks like a fucking like a Vogue GQ fucking funeral. Okay, no one's wearing black. Everyone's wearing the fucking designer shit. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, everyone looks like they're like male models and shit. It's like it's stupid, but yeah, it's what it is. Okay, this woman named Josephine, I guess she was Javier's sister. She makes this speech, and Carrie says like, "Oh yeah, she's the new Donatella Versace." Because remember when Versace died, his sister took over the company. She says, "Oh, look at her. She used to look like shit. Now she looks great. She's the new Donatella Versace. Her name's Josephine." I'm like, whoa, you obviously haven't seen Donatella Versace, okay? Because I've seen her. No. Okay, it's kind of weird how that works, isn't it? Like Donatella Versace, I mean, she's the head of the Versace empire, but she is attractively challenged. And then you got someone like Larry Flint, the guy that like pretty much propelled porn to the forefront more than Hugh Hefner ever did. Larry Flint, and he was stuck in a wheelchair. He couldn't even have sex. How fucked up is that? Yeah, that's just one of those ironies of life, I guess. Okay, anyway, moving on. So there, Charlotte's hat blows off in the wind, so she chases it, and it goes right to this grave of some guy. I guess he's a widower. His name's Ned, and he's standing over the grave of his late wife. And he meets Charlotte, and of course Charlotte starts talking to the girls in the limousine out of the elevator, out of the funeral. She's like, "Oh yeah, his name's Ned. He's handsome, and he went to Princeton." And she starts talking about how the virtues of being a widower. It's like, oh my God, like he's sensitive, he's in touch with his feelings, he was devoted, he's romantic, and he's able to commit. He's been married before. He's one of the guys that can commit, and I like that. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I love Charlotte and I hate Charlotte. Okay? I love Charlotte for her optimism. She is a girly girl. She's the most girly girl out of all four of them. Okay, I mean she's a girl times 10. Okay, fucking always wears a skirt, always wears a dress, always wears puffy shoulders. Always wears heels. I mean she looks very feminine all the goddamn time. Acts very feminine all the goddamn. And I gotta be honest with you. Okay. Of those four women, Charlotte was the one I liked the most. Okay, she was. Okay, I had to think for Kristen Davis back then. Okay, she was beautiful. Even today. Okay, well now she's got the fucking shit on her face. Now she's had like her lips done and shit. She looks fucking weird now. But back then she looked really good. And and she just appealed. She just exuded femininity. Like there was nothing masculine about her. Everything about her was just feminine. And for a guy like me, especially like in the 21st century and shit, where women are being told to act more like a man, which means be a strong woman. Don't be a girly girl. Be a strong woman, which basically just means act like a man. Why the fuck would they think that? Like you can't be feminine and be strong. You got to act like a man in order to be strong. You got to talk like me in order to be a strong woman. Get the fuck out of here, Rachel Maddow. But anyway, the point is back then, Charlotte celebrated it, and that's what I really liked about her. That's what made her so attractive to me, was I like the fact that she wasn't afraid to act like a girl. She acted like a fucking girl, okay? And ladies, that's very attractive for a man, okay? That's very attractive for a man, okay? We don't want to date ourselves, okay? I don't want to date a fucking Miranda, a chick who thinks she's got a bigger dick than me, okay? I don't want to date that, okay? Most guys don't want to date that, okay? Most guys, the straight guys, we're attracted to, we have masculine's already built into us. Okay, it's already who we are. It's in our DNA. Okay, we can't help it. Okay, so we're not attracted to the like. Okay, unless we're gay, of course. But we're not attracted to like. Okay, we're attracted to the opposite. Okay, two halves complete each other, make something whole. So a man who acts like a man, who's proud to be a man, is naturally attracted to a woman who acts like a woman and is proud to be a woman. That doesn't mean weakness. That just means she's feminine and he's masculine. It's kind of the way the world works, has something to do with repopulating the planet. I don't know why, but it does. Okay. So, that's just something that we're naturally attracted to. And Charlotte just revels in her femininity and is so attractive. Okay. And guys like that. Ladies, guys like that. Okay. We like it when you act like women. Okay. It turns us on. Okay. It's something we notice. It's something that turns us on. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Don't be ashamed of it. God damn, it's what we like. Okay, anyway. And Charlotte is just that. She's just that, okay? So now Samantha says, like, oh my God, you're falling into the whole freaking dead wife factor, okay? Okay, his dead wife now is she's deified because she's dead, she's perfect, she can do no wrong, okay? And you're gonna be the bitch that will never live up to her. Why don't you, if you want someone who can commit, why don't you just date a guy who's divorced, at least his wife is still alive, And then of course Carrie, because she's smoking cigarettes inside the fucking limousine. I mean, yeah, she got the window open, but she's smoking cigarettes inside the fucking limousine. And she's like, oh, well, Big, what'd you say about Big here? It said, Big, all marriage did to Big was convince him not to commit. So once again, she's making it about herself. She's still hung up on Big, And then Charlotte puts her in a place. Hey, you're the one that dumped him. You're the one that dumped him. Okay. So Carrie's like, oh, so now I'm the one with commitment issues? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay. You dumped him because he wasn't ready to make you his permanent full-time girlfriend. Okay, he wasn't there yet. Okay, and you were already there. You got there way before he did. And the fact that he didn't give that to you is what pissed you off, and that's why you got rid of him. You got rid of him because he wouldn't move as fast as you wanted him to move, okay? You were basically trying to force him to do something he didn't want to do. Or not force him, but pressure him to do something that he wasn't ready to do. Christ, you were about to go on vacation together for the first time. And then you pulled this shit on him, okay? No wonder he's not returning your calls, okay? Well, actually, he is returning her calls. Go figure. I don't know. But you dumped him, okay? You dumped him. All right? So, Miranda's not there. The reason Miranda wasn't there is because she got a new apartment. Of course, the realtor is like, "Oh, are you? Is it just you?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's just me." He's like, "Well, what does a single woman like you need all this space for?" She's like, "I got a lot of shoes." Oh, so my son owns his own business. He's single, and she's just like, "What the fuck, bitch? What kind of realtor tries to set up one of their clients with their son?" That's just that's desperate and pathetic. Okay. And another thing about oh my God, okay. Have you guys ever heard of a singing group called Simon and Garfunkel? They were big like in the late 60s and the early 70s, and then they split up, and Paul Simon went off and did his own thing, married Carrie Fisher from Star Wars, But they did that one song, Sound of Silence. You probably heard of it, It's one of those hippie songs. And the reason I bring this up is because if you look at art at a Simon and Garfunkel, Miranda right now looks exactly like Garfunkel, okay? And that is not a good thing. I mean, she looks like crap. Oh my God. Her and Ronald McDonald use the same hair color. It's unbelievable. All right. So, Carrie starts worrying about her future now because, death is on her mind. And there's so many things she hadn't done. She hadn't finished painting her apartment. She hasn't paid off her Visa credit cards yet. She's never been to Greece. So she decides that, what does she want to do when she's feeling scared for the future? She calls big. Okay. And she's like, "Hey, I just came back from a funeral and I thought I'd give you a call." And he's like, "Oh, well, I'm glad you thought of me after leaving a funeral." Which is why I love Big, because he has these little quips, And I'm starting to understand it now, okay? Now, a few episodes ago, I mentioned, like, I don't see what Big sees in Carrie yet. I don't know what it is. I'd forgotten. It's been so long since I've seen these episodes. I'd forgotten what it was. Well, I'm starting to see it now, okay? I'm starting to see now why Big likes Carrie. I'm starting to see it now, okay? All right, so Carrie asks him out, "Do you want to have dinner?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah. I love to have dinner all the time. In fact, every day, Who am I having dinner with?" Which is pretty good. Pretty good, I swear to God. Sometime in the past, I think I must have written down these lines just so that I could say them when I was any of my exes out there watching this, like, "Hey, you said that to me." Yeah, now you know where I got it from. Okay, anyway. So she's every day with who? Okay, she's like with me. So Big accepts the callbacks. Hey, you know what? I'm also starting to understand something about myself watching this. I can't say who it is, but there was this woman I was dating around this time, off and on. And this was always happening to us. We're getting close, then we split apart. And then like a few months go by, then she just calls me out of the blue. "Hey, what are you doing? You want to go meet up and, get something to eat, And I would say, "Okay, And this, and then we wouldn't see each other again for a long time. She'd be dating somebody, I'd be dating somebody, and then, all out of the blue, "Hey, Diego, how you been? Long time. Oh, hey, how you doing too, Hey, I'm going to this U2 concert. You want to come with me?" Yeah, okay, no problem. Like, now I'm starting to put it together, like, oh my God. And we're still friends. Like today, we're still friends. I think I'm starting to see something here. Like, what? Was I missing something back then? And it was right in front of me? I think so. I think I was. All right, so I'm guilty of these callbacks. I am guilty of it, okay? So she goes on a date with Big again, okay. Now, some guy named Dick Crambrell, okay, I guess he's some top-level corporate exec that lives in New York. One of the things Samantha figured out at the funeral is that she decided that like Josefina, the heiress to Javier's fashion empire, she decided that she's going to build a charity for I guess for people that work in the fashion industry that struggle with substance abuse. So she's asking everyone to make a donation to this new charity, to help people so they don't end up like her brother. And of course, Samantha hears this, and she's a PR. She owns her own PR firm, so she's like, "Oh my God, they got to put me in charge of raising the money. Oh my God, the Rolodex I can get out of that alone is gonna save me for the rest of my life. Financial security." So she just jumps on top of that. Okay, so she's gonna go to everybody under the skies of raising money just to get like contact information. Who do I talk to and blah blah. So she's using it for business, networking, which is a good idea. So the first guy she goes up to is this guy named, Dick Crambell. And he's the major CEO of some company, like billionaire. And of course, he starts, flirting with Samantha. I guess Samantha's like, okay, yeah. She starts flirting back, so they start getting it on. And then his wife walks in and tells Samantha, get the fuck out, And of course, he's like, so yeah. So she tells him to get the fuck out. Okay. Now, apparently, Miranda is deciding to buy this apartment, and I guess she's signing all the paperwork now. And even the guy that she's signing the paperwork from is giving her shit for being single. Like he says stupid shit like, hey, oh, so I'm assuming I guess your dad is going to be making the down payment for this? And she's like, no, it's going to be me. Like, who the fuck does this? Okay, you don't insult your client like this, okay? You don't insult your client, okay? There's always been women that had money. Always, okay? This is nothing new. It's not something that got invented in the 90s, okay? Women have always had money, okay? Because most people that are wealthy, they inherit their money, okay? They don't earn it, okay? Hollywood loves to make movies about people that started off poor and then became rich, okay? But that's a very, very small percentage, okay? The majority of people that are rich right now were born rich, okay? They inherited their money, okay? Men and women, okay? Miranda's not the first single woman to buy her own a fucking apartment in New York. And the fact that they're treating her like that, like there's something like wrong with her for doing it, it's stupid, it's dated. If this was maybe the 1940s or something, I could understand. This is like 1999. Like, what the fuck, man? Come on. Like, Ripley don't believe that, and I don't believe that. Nobody would give a shit. This woman is giving you money. Why are you going to insult her like that? When she's signing the contracts. All she has to do is put her pen down and say, fuck you, I'm going to get somebody else. Because you're trying to make me feel bad because I'm single and I'm buying my own apartment. That's stupid. That's stupid. But, rich people have problems, whatever. So, okay, so when he fucked her back into his life, here, you want to have dinner? Okay, get out. Everyone's giving Miranda shit. Okay, single woman, no, not 1930. Okay, so Miranda's like, I don't need a man. They're having dinner, all the girls are having dinner again. And Miranda's like, she's talking about what I just said, how they try to like shame her for being single buying the apartment, and she's like, Miranda's like, I don't need a man, and Charlotte's like, every woman needs a man, hey, good for you, Charlotte. Everyone needs a man. She says, the reason I rent my place and I don't own it is because eventually whatever guy I get, he's going to be the one that buys the place, not me. That way he doesn't feel intimidated. If I'm owning and he's renting, he's going to feel intimidated by me, which is bullshit. I don't know. Maybe in the 90s it would have been, but I doubt it. Like I said, there's always been rich women. Okay, so as long as there's been rich single women, there's always been rich single women who dated guys that didn't make as much money. Yeah, it's probably not popular, but it happens all the fucking time. And it was happening back then too. I've dated women that make more money than me. I've dated women that make a lot more money than me. Okay, so it's not like it's unusual, I mean, yeah, granted, most of the time, yeah, the guy makes more money because it's expected, because if they get together and get married and have kids, she's gonna have to quit working to have the kids, so someone's got to be making the income, and unlike you ladies, when guys have a baby, they don't stop working. Okay, they keep working throughout they'll get the day off when the baby's born, but that's it. They have to go back to work or else there's no money. They don't get paid maternity leave, okay? How's that for equality, right? Well, I guess it is equal because, I mean, it's not like we have to carry the baby in us, but you know what I mean. We have to keep working. We can't stop working, all right? So, so I read some making, men don't want a woman who's self-sufficient. What? That's what Charlotte says, okay? And Nate, you know what? That's bullshit, okay? Women have always been self-sufficient, okay? You remember World War II when all the men left to go fight, Adolf Hitler, okay? The women took over everything during that time, okay? So no, women are self-sufficient. No one's saying that they're not. This is bullshit. This is bullshit feminist crap, Women are so hard. No, you don't. You actually got it easier than we do. Okay, you say you don't, but you do. Okay, you do. Okay, there's laws that were created just for you that don't apply to us. Unfucking believable. All right. So anyway, Samantha says just order. You sound like you just ordered a Victorian straight up. She says that to Charlotte. Pretty funny. So Samantha finds out that her credit card got declined. All right. In fact, the hostess basically kicks her out. Like, you're not welcome here. Okay. So what happened is because Samantha was with that rich guy, that Dick Cranberry Ball or whatever, the one whose wife caught her with him. She put a social hit on Samantha. Okay. So I guess she knows all the right people. Okay. So now Samantha is basically ostracized. She's been canceled. Like they call it today, cancel culture. Well, that's what's happened to Samantha. She has been canceled. Okay. From all the restaurants, all the clubs, all the events that she usually goes to, she has been canceled. Her credit cards don't even work anymore. I mean, they fucked her over. Okay. So she pissed off the wrong person, the wrong woman in New York. Okay, the high society socialite. Yeah, she pissed off the wrong one. Okay, so they put a hit on Samantha. Okay, so now Samantha's lost all of her access. Okay, so what do you call it? So accepted a social hit job. Okay, so Charlotte notices a picture of the dead wife when she's having sex with Ned. They go out. I guess they go out on they're at a bar and he's got a picture of his dead wife in his wallet. She notices it. She's a pretty girl. Oh, and they're walking together on the sidewalk, at night. He's on the right side of the sidewalk. She's on the left side. They're talking. He's like, I'm sorry. She's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. No, you must have loved her. She's like, after she's been dead and now I'm on a date and I'm thinking about my ex-wife. Yeah, because that really turns a woman on, right? It's worked for me every single time. Every single time I did that, I was like, yeah, women just get fucking wet. They get wetter than my face. Unfucking believable. I can't believe how much that turns women. I do it all the time now. Whenever you see me down with a beautiful woman, you'll always see me like this. You'll always see me that way. Yeah, because it works. And it works for him too. God damn it. He must have been studying me. Because he does that. And I guess Charlie just gets turned on and they decide to go have sex. And they do. With a picture of his dead wife right next to the bed so she can see everything, And Charlotte's all like, oh, well, it was the spirit of his dead wife who forced my hat to go over to her grave so I could meet her husband and take care of him. She wanted it that way. And that's why she watches us when we have sex. Women will just convince themselves of anything to justify bullshit. Swear to God. I mean, hey, men do it too, though. It's not a woman thing. Men do it too. All right, so the dead wife there gets emotional. He's like, I feel so much right now. He's so full of shit. There. So anyway, apparently Charlotte fucked him back to life. Okay, moving along. Carrie's excited to see Big again. She's anxious. She's smoking like fucking crazy again. When everyone's dying to make a connection, can a relationship bring you back to life? I guess that's the thesis. She never actually writes down anything in this episode. She doesn't type anything on her laptop. So she just says this out loud. So I guess that's the thesis, but I'm not really sure. So Big is there, and he says, I don't worry about death. Ooh. Well, don't worry, Big. Death is worrying about you. Don't worry, Big. You got another good 22 years left. All right. But he says he doesn't worry about death. He's more concerned about who's denting his car in his parking lot when he's not there. Okay. And Carrie says, well, I believe in reincarnation. And he's like, well, so what are you going to come back as? So she's like, someone who knows better, which is pretty good. Heaven says, Big says that heaven to him is a big bed. And they just say, come on in. Is really? Because I thought it would be a Peloton machine and a shower. I thought heaven would be a woman crying over you and not calling for a fucking ambulance. I thought that's what heaven would be like. But then again, what do I know? Sleeping. And they just say, come on in. So Carrie says, well, what's so special about that? you know? And he's like, oh, well, it depends on who's in the bed. And then Carrie says, well, you know what? If I was ever with you and you were dying, I would just hug you until you fucking died, and then I would call 911. That's what I would do, but what do I know? It's a good thing that'll never happen. All right. So for some reason, this conversation gets them horny. And Carrie says, like, I'm not having sex with you tonight. He's like, yeah, I know. We're just having dinner. And they end up fucking. Of course. Of course they do. You know? Hey, I see it now. I understand what's going on. I understand why Big is with Carrie. It's the quips, okay? Someone like Big with a high sexual market value. I know I say that all the time, okay? Someone like Big can pull a lot of great looking women. So what does Carrie have that these other women don't have, okay? Because she's a pretty girl, but I mean, he can get better than her look-wise. So what does Carrie bring to the table that the other beautiful supermodel looking women don't bring? And I'll tell you what it is. It's her personality. That's what it is. Her quip. She's very smart. All the best one-liners come from Carrie. Okay, she's a writer, so naturally, okay, and she's been written by writers. Okay, so the best likes, the best puns, you know, the best non sequiturs, they all come from Carrie. Okay, this is unusual. Most women don't do this. They don't speak this way. All right, so she's got a very creative mind. She's a very talented writer. Okay, you can tell by the way she talks, by the things that she says. You know, so absolutely, this is something different about Carrie. Okay, where else can Big have a conversation with a woman like this? Okay, where the bantering goes back and forth. He's a pretty good conversationalist too. He knows when to say the right things too. So he's matched with somebody. She can do it too. You know, that's pretty rare. Okay, that's super rare. Two people that know how to talk that way. You know, imagine. I can't think of one right now, but I'm sure there's like women that just know how to talk really well. You know, very very vocal. You know, they can enunciate very well. You know, put her against someone like, you know, like a Tony Stark or a House from the show, someone who talks very well too. You put them together, oh my God, you're just like, oh my God, you gotta go watch these people talk to each other, okay? That's kind of what Carrie and Big have, okay? They have a verbal relationship, okay? Verbal sparring, you know? It's kind of like moonlighting. You remember that show with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis, but before he was Bruce Willis, before Die Hard, okay? They would do that all the time. They had these verbal squabbles that were so interesting. Like, you didn't care what the episode was about. You cared about what they were going to say to each other, okay, in every episode, because that was the fun part of the show, okay? That's kind of like what Big and Carrie have, okay? So I get it now. Okay, so now I see why Big would fall in love with her. Now I see it, okay? So Carrie leaves, and you know she's too scared. So they do have sex, but just not yet. Okay. Sam has officially been blacklisted. Okay. Miranda's neighbor looks exactly like the late great Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, rest in peace. Even though she's Jewish, and I'm crossing myself. Okay. Yeah, and she tells Miranda that the last woman that lived in this apartment died. She was single and she died, and nobody found her for like a couple of weeks. And when they found her body, you know that her cat had already eaten half of her face off. Yeah. So now Miranda's all like, oh, you know. And then Miranda has a fucking near-death experience. She starts choking on some Chinese food while she's trying to watch hard copy, you know, and the only one there is her cat. So she's like, she's running around the place. She finally like Heimlich maneuvers herself by slamming her stomach against the counter, you know, and she pops the food out. And then she calls Carrie me, oh my God, I almost died. You know, so now she's like really thinking about death, you know, and I tell you, it can't come too soon. All right. So for Miranda, not for Cynthia Nixon, because I like Cynthia Nixon. It's Miranda I don't like. Okay, so anyway, so she's scared and she's, you know, she had a near-death experience. I've been there too, man. I was in a plane once that almost crashed. Okay? I've had a gun put in front of me before, a loaded gun put right in front of my face before. Okay? You know, I was in the fucking Marines. Fucking fought in a war, for Christ's sake. Yeah, I know I've been close to death too. I know it can shake you up a little bit, you know? So I understand. So she's all like freaking out, and it's understandable, you know. She's afraid she's gonna die, you know. She calls Carrie. Meanwhile, Samantha goes to see Shippy Shipman, who apparently she is the queen of the social scene in New York. Okay, like she is the godmother. Okay, so basically, Samantha shows up there on her knees to pay tribute to the godmother. Like, please let me back in the circle. Please, you know, let me back in. I've been excommunicated, you know. And now I don't know where they got the name Shippy Shipment from, but I do know there's a movie. I don't know what it is, an older movie where there was someone. I think her name was Pinky Pinkston or something. She was this rich socialite that was like the queen of the social scene. Like she was the one that got you in and out of the club. She knew everybody that was important. And so I guess they're trying to play on that name. So this woman's like, oh yeah, I remember you. Of course I do. Yes, you're the one that grabbed my husband's ass. And I think you've made your own bed and you need to lie in it. So Samantha's like, okay, so you're not going to fucking help me. You're not going to take this hit job off of me. Okay, you know what? The only reason I would grab your husband's ass is because I was drunk. Okay. So she says, fuck you. And that's what I love about Samantha, okay? Samantha's tough, okay? Yes, she has her vulnerabilities, okay? And she's going through some shit right now, but god damn it, Samantha will hold on to her fucking self-confidence no matter what. She's gotten shaken before. I've seen her get shaken. I've seen her self-confidence shaken. I've never seen it broken. Okay? That's the thing about she's the fucking strongest woman. Out of all the 4 women, she is the strongest one. She can take a lot of fucking shit and still put her face on and keep going forward, okay? I respect her for that because there's a lot of people that cannot do that. None of the other 3 girls can do that, okay? And a lot of guys can't do that either. But Samantha can do that. So I give Samantha 100% respect, okay? She's in a shitty situation. She did it to herself, but she's in a shitty situation, she's got enemies everywhere, and what does she do? She stands up and holds her fucking head up high, says, fuck you then, okay? I'm gonna keep going no matter what, Hey, I can applaud that. That's one of the reasons I like Samantha. Okay, I don't agree with her sexual politics, but I agree with her personal politics, So good for her. All right, so there's that. Yes, no, I only grew up because drunk. Okay, so now Miranda has an anxiety attack, okay? She's walking down in her neighborhood of her new apartment, and she's on the street, on the sidewalk, walking down, and she starts getting dizzy, and everything starts spinning, And the reason this is happening, there's 2 reasons. Number one, because she's afraid of dying, so she's having an anxiety attack. Okay, because she just had a near-death experience. And number 2 is because she's fucking dressed like Ronald fucking McDonald. Okay, she's got the Ronald McDonald outfit on, the yellow with the red and the makeup and the red lips, and then all of a sudden, because she looks like Ronald McDonald, some cab driver almost runs her over. Okay, so she decides to get in the cab instead and take her to the hospital. So the hospital, she calls Carrie, of course, and she starts having one of those fucking like, oh, what does my life mean? I'm so scared. I'm gonna die alone, just like that woman that lived there before me. My emergency contact is my parents, and they live in Pennsylvania. I don't even like them. So when shit goes wrong, who am I going to call? I call you, Carrie. I call you. I got nobody else to call. I'm going to die alone. Yeah, you are going to die alone. Someone like you doesn't deserve to be loved. Okay, well, maybe that's cruel. But you did it to yourself, bitch. All right. Just think of me as Kathleen Turner in fucking Peggy Sue Got Married. Remember when she went back in time, she started blaming her future husband for all the shit he hadn't even done yet? Well, that's what I'm doing, okay? You just call me Peggy Sue, all right? I'm blaming you for all the shit you're gonna do. Fucking bitch. All right, anyway, so afraid of dying alone. Okay, so now we get to Charlotte. Okay, so Charlotte goes to the cemetery with some lilies to give to Ned. He's standing there over the grave of his wife. And all of a sudden, 2 other women show up, and they've all got lilies. And Charlotte's like, please tell me those are your sisters. And he's like, oh, I don't have any sisters. And then Charlotte's like, you actually throws the flowers at her and gets out of there. Okay, and her relationship with Ned died right there. Okay, you know what? Bullshit flag, here it comes, okay? First of all, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, okay? If I'm a widower, okay, and I've been fucking this girl, and the way I picked her up, the way I seduced her was using my dead wife, okay, my emotion for my dead wife. If that's how I used her to get sex from her, why the fuck would I allow the other 2 women I'm doing the exact same thing to show up at the same fucking time? Why? That makes no sense. When you're dating multiple women, you don't want them to know about each other unless you're in charge of that, okay? If you're trying to get some sort of freaky deaky foursome, then yes, that's different. But these women don't know about each other, and they're not going to know about each other. So why the fuck would you invite them all at the same fucking time? Be a fucking man. You know what a straight guy would do? A straight guy would say, okay, Charlotte, meet me at 2 o'clock, okay? And then later on at 7, we'll go out and have dinner. Okay, you know why? Because at 3:30, the second girl's gonna show up, and then I'm gonna spend the night with her tomorrow. And then at 5 o'clock, the third woman's gonna show up, and I'm gonna spend the night with her after I drop Charlotte off. Okay? That's how a straight guy would do it. He wouldn't fucking make sure they all fucking show up at the same fucking time. Are you out of your fucking mind? Jesus fucking Christ, you can't cry yourself out of this. This is stupid. Who the fuck wrote this shit? That's not how it's done. Ugh. All right. So once again, bullshit flag, bullshit flag, bullshit flag right there. I'm not saying guys don't date multiple women and use tricks to seduce all three of them, okay? But they're not going to make sure they all show up at the same fucking time together like that. That's bullshit. All right. So Charlotte's out of there. She won't see this guy anymore. Samantha, still a social outcast, but she's over here doing manual labor for the for Javier House. I guess what they're calling it for fashion models that are addicted to substances. Okay, so she's actually like pulling a dolly, getting dirty, doing hard work. Hey, you know what? Another reason I respect Samantha. She's not afraid to get dirty. Okay, I know she acts like a socialite and she acts like this rich bitch, which I guess she is, you know, but she's not afraid to get down and dirty if she has to, you know, and I like that about her. To see her doing manual labor, like I know she's a slut and all that kind of stuff, and I know she thinks super highly or she overestimates her own, you know, she suffers from, you know, high self-esteem. I get all that, all right? But to see her get down and dirty, you know, this is a testament to who she is. Like she's tough. Underneath all that shit, she's fucking tougher than she looks, you know? And she can take it. You know, she doesn't see it as demeaning, you know? And when you remember the fact that, yes, for all the things that I don't like about Samantha, and there's a lot, okay? The bottom line is this bitch got fucking dirty, okay? And she got dirty to help people that are suffering from substance abuse. Okay, in my book, you got my respect. 100 fucking percent. I don't care about your social politics. I don't care about your sluttiness. I don't care about that you overestimate your own self-esteem. I don't care about that. The bottom line is that she's actually doing something good for a good cause. And she's not afraid to do it. And the fact that she underplays it, she doesn't brag to everyone, hey, listen, I'm doing this manual labor for this charity. She doesn't brag about it, you know? I mean, she bragged about it when she was trying to, you know, get the Rolodex for everybody, you know, the contacts. But when it comes down to actually just doing the hard work, you know, she did it. And she has no problem doing it, you know? Maybe she doesn't have a problem, but she did it anyway, okay? And she's actually doing something for a good fucking cause, okay? She didn't abandon her ideals, okay, because she fell in love with some fucking fat, ugly, fucking lesbian thing that looks like Fred Flintstone, that looks like fucking New Kids on the Block and Ursula from the fucking Little Mermaid had a fucking baby, okay? So I got respect for Samantha. All right. So that happens. Miranda finally decides for some reason she wants to accept being single. Big checks on Carrie, upset she's been ghosting him. Big actually gets upset that Carrie hasn't returned his calls, so he meets up with her at her apartment, and they decide to go bowling. And they have fun playing bowling. He says, "Hell to him is wearing these bowling shoes." Okay, and they start playing that song, "I'll tie a lover's knot round wonderful you, just us, just we." Yeah. Anyway, you know the song, okay? And that's it, okay? And then they have a kiss, and they have sex again, and they say, you know, they have sex, and they feel like they're reincarnated. And Carrie says she's never felt more alive. Okay, so that ends the episode. You know, it was a pretty good episode. We learned a lot about these characters, and I got some respect. I got a lot more respect for Samantha and for Carrie and for Big. I understand him now. You know, Miranda's still a bitch. And yes, now I'll explain to you why Charlotte's so great. Okay, so thank you for watching this review, and I will hit you up on the next one. Thanks.